All right, so diving right in this time, we're going deep into the literary world, and specifically the Nobel Prize in Literature. You know, that thing everyone talks about but maybe doesn't fully
Yeah,
understand.
no, absolutely.
And we got some super intriguing stuff from you about this, so let's get right to it. Han Kang, a South Korean author, just won the 2024 Nobel Prize for Literature.
Now, that's a name I haven't heard in a while. A fascinating choice, wouldn't you say?
That's huge.
And I think it really speaks to, not just her talent, obviously, but this growing global recognition of Korean literature as a whole.
For sure.
This is, after all, the first time a South Korean writer has been recognized like this.
Exactly. A historic win, for sure. Announced, what was it, just the other day? October 10th in Stockholm.
Big day for literature.
And here's something that really caught my eye. She wasn't even the front runner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the New York Times piece you sent over mentioned books. Bookmakers actually had their money on a different author, Ken Shear.
Huh. Wild.
Like, who even knew literary betting was a thing?
It's a whole rabbit hole, honestly, with its own little world of predictions and analysis and all that. But back to Han Kang, the Swedish Academy, they're the ones who actually choose the winner, right?
Right, okay.
They praised her work, especially how it explores these really intense themes of historical trauma and, the fragility of human life.
Hmm.
And her novel, The Vegetarian, seems to perfectly capture those themes.
So from what I got reading about the book, it's about this housewife who decides to stop eating meat.
Okay, interesting.
Sounds simple enough, but then it takes this sharp turn. She ends up stopping eating altogether, saying she wants to become a tree.
Whoa!
It's like almost surreal, you know?
Definitely a hallmark of her writing, that surrealism. Lets her really dive into these complex, often uncomfortable realities that you couldn't address directly.
I can see that.
So rather than shying away from tough emotions, The Vegetarian uses this incredibly striking metaphor, this woman becoming a tree, to maybe explore themes of control, identity, our relationship with nature even.
And that blend of surrealism with those deeper societal critiques, that seems to be what really resonated with the Nobel Committee. Their statement specifically highlighted her ability to confront historical traumas and expose the fragility of human life.
Exactly. That's where the real power of her work lies. It's not just about how strange it might seem on the surface, but what those elements reveal about being human, especially within the context of Korean history and what they've gone through as a people.
So we're not just looking at a story, but potentially a window into a specific cultural experience, and now that's resonating on a global scale because of this prize.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's pretty amazing when you think about
It
it.
really is.
What are your thoughts on that? It's definitely got people talking, both in South Korea and around the world.
Yeah.
Like one article even mentioned that BTS reacted to the news,
Oh, wow, really?
which just shows you how big of a deal this is, even outside of literary circles.
That's a great point. It's like DTS reacting, that just shows how much this win goes beyond, the usual literary awards crowd. It's a cultural moment, a point of national pride even.
Right. Like it's more than just a writer winning a prize.
Way more. And the article you sent over even quoted their president, Yoon Suk-yeol, calling it a great achievement, like a reason for the whole country to celebrate.
It's kind of wild how, like, a literary award can have that effect on national identity.
Oh, totally. You see it all the time with cultural achievements, especially when they get this kind of global recognition. It's about feeling seen, having your culture represented on the world stage.
Yeah, and challenging those preconceived notions that people might have.
Exactly. Letting your country's artistic voice be heard loud and clear.
And what about within South Korea itself? Seems like Han Kang's win was a bit of a surprise there, too. One article quoted some office worker in Seoul saying he could not believe it.
I love that. I think that really speaks to the nature of these awards.
Yeah.
Well, they often shine a light on artists who might not be super well known, even back home.
Interesting.
It's about recognizing talent and vision that's maybe been flying under the radar, just waiting for the right moment.
So these moments of recognition can be even more impactful in a way.
For sure. It's a reminder that incredible work can come from anywhere, and often does.
Makes you think about all those other writers out there just waiting for their chance to be discovered.
Absolutely.
But bringing it back to Han Kang for a sec, what do you think it is about her work, especially The Vegetarian, that's resonating so strongly with people?
It's definitely one of those stories that sticks with you. And I think that really speaks to Han Kang's skill as a writer.
Oh, absolutely.
She doesn't shy away from difficult topics, but she finds a way to make it both thought-provoking and, strangely beautiful at the same time, even if it gets a little weird sometimes.
Hmm?
Exactly. It's that amazing blend of the surreal and the deeply human that makes her work so captivating. And when you think about those historical traumas the Nobel Committee mentioned, it adds this whole other layer to her writing.
Totally. It makes you realize that there's this whole historical context behind the vegetarian, you know?
Absolutely.
It's not just about a woman who wants to be a tree. It's a reflection of her specific cultural and historical experience, and that's what's shaped her worldview.
And I think that's one of the most incredible things about literature.
What's that?
It can transport us to these different worlds, introduce us to new perspectives, shine a light on things we might not otherwise see.
Yeah, like those hidden corners you were talking about.
Exactly. And in a way, Han Kang winning this prize, it's like an invitation for all of us
An invitation to do what?
to engage with these complex histories, to understand what shapes us, both individually and as a society.
It's definitely eye-opening.
For sure.
It reminds you that even in the most unexpected stories, you can find these profound truths about ourselves and the world around us.
Exactly. And that's what's so great about this deep dive, wouldn't you say?
What do you mean?
We started with a news story about a literary prize, and look where we ended up.
It's true. We've gone on a journey through history, culture, the power of storytelling.
All because of this one writer and her unique vision.
It's been awesome unpacking all of this with you, really digging into the layers beneath the surface. And for our listeners, if you're looking for a book that will really make you think, challenge your perspectives, and give you a glimpse into a different culture, you have to check out Han Kang's work.
I second that.
It's a deep dive in itself. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep those pages turning.